Okay, so I think just maybe I figured out something big in this show. But I'm not sure because they may be tricking us. Alright, so we start with our flash forward scene, and it was super, super quick this time at the beginning and at the end. But we see a little more information this time. We realize that Wes has a gun. Then we go to present day and we see that Wes is looking at that gun that is from like Eggs 911, who asked him to hold on to that for him. So we can only assume that the gun at the scene of the crime is the Eggs 911 gun. Okay, so immediately people are like, did Wes shoot Annalise? No, I don't think that. I think they're just trying to mess with us here a little bit, but what's up with that gun being there? I don't know. What do you guys think? Post your theories down below. So, I was really surprised by this, and this honestly has nothing to do with the plot or anything, but was anyone else surprised to see like this random student answering Annalise's questions in class? Because it's like, there's always like a ton of students there, but the only people who answer are like the Keating Five, so I was like, dude, who are you? This is so weird. You must feel like so honored as an actor to have like these lines in the show. I mean, I just thought that was kind of weird. So, you know that evil prosecuting attorney? It's just becoming more and more clear why she dies. I'm not really sure if she is murdered or if she kills herself. Well, we'll wait till the very end of this video to get to that, but I could see why someone would want to murder her. Like, I could see why a lot of people would want to murder her. Because now she has turned Nate in for murdering his wife. Like, she just will not stop. So our special guest star, Famke Janssen, returns in the role of Eve. And she has quite a few scenes in this episode. So I don't really know where that storyline is going. And I don't know if she's just like in this season only and she won't be back for season 3. Not so sure, but I kind of like her character. So Bonnie is super, 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 super pissed after she found out that Asher was involved in that gang rape, and she really doesn't want to have anything to do with him anymore. But as I suspected in after last week's episode, Asher actually didn't gang rape anyone. This was an incident that happened, I guess, at a party that he was having, and he didn't really know what was going on according to him. But his dad helped to cover it up, and I guess he didn't really stop it. Wasn't really proactive in the situation. I don't feel like he's super guilty, and I probably wouldn't be mad at him if I were Bonnie. But we have to take into account Bonnie's past, which we found out is also true, that she was, in fact, sexually abused by her father. So I think this hits closer to home for her. So we do have our side story in this episode. We actually never see Caleb and Catherine in this episode at all, but our side story deals with this man who committed suicide, and his wife is blaming her ex-husband for pushing him to do that. So Laurel is like a super investigator in this episode, and you know, to make a very long story short, she finds out that the prosecuting attorney representing the wife is having an affair with the wife, and it was actually this attorney guy that pushed her husband to jump off a building, and it wasn't Annalise's client. This wasn't the most interesting side story, so I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it, but it was pretty interesting that Laurel was able to figure out and basically put this guy in prison for it. So, it's obvious that something really shady went on with the whole Nate's wife deal, because after a trial where it really looked like he was going to be sent to jail for, I don't know if it wasn't a trial, but a court hearing. It looked like he was going to be sent to jail for helping her, I guess, assist in suicide. Her blood test come back clean, so something is up. You could tell by the way that Eve was acting, because Eve came back into this episode to represent Nate, and you could tell by the way that he was acting and Eve was acting that something was up. The prosecuting attorney, who we all hate, was really upset, but hey, she's just so conniving. I mean, it's just awful, and I feel like that's a good situation. Like, I don't feel like Nate should have gone to jail, because we all know his wife did want help and dying. She really didn't want to live anymore. So, So Asher kind of slips up here, and he lets Bonnie kind of know, she figures out, she reads between the lines, that Annalise told him about her abusive father. Now this sends Bonnie into orbit, and once again, I'm going to give mad props to this actress, because girl, if you don't win an Emmy, like, you I mean, I have no words. You're amazing. I seriously think this actress, I need to like Google her name because I'm not doing her justice. She's so good. I need to start calling her by her real name. But if she doesn't win like an Emmy, I'm just going to be floored because she's killing it. I think she's really the best this season as far as acting goes. But she goes and confronts Annalise and she tells her, I want you to die. I wish they had killed you instead of Sam. I mean, it was a great scene. Of course, Annalise was awesome as well. As she went back and forth with her and she's like, you know, I do love you. Otherwise, you would be in jail right now because you killed Rebecca. But wow, what an explosive, amazing scene. So let's get to this bombshell in this episode. Eve doesn't understand why Annalise is so protective over Wes. And as I've said in 1,000,001 videos on this story or on this show, I don't understand it either. But the only thing that I could think of, the only way I could explain it is that he is her son. And so Eve has like the same question, like, why are you doing all this stuff to protect this student? And, you know, Annalise is like, he's much more than a student. She's like, it's him. Okay, so Eve automatically knows who him is. Now, most of you would jump to say, oh my gosh, he is her son. At first, I like screamed and I like tweeted something about it. It was like, oh my gosh, I figured this out. I think we should slow down just a little bit because I still think they could be messing with us. He could be a relative. Who knows? He could be someone's baby that she helped represent, like a former client. We're not really sure yet. It really makes the most sense that it is her son, but it could be the son of someone she totally really cared about and promised she would take care of or look after. What do you guys think about that? I feel relieved that she's not going to have some weird sexual relationship with him because that just would have been way too creepy for me. So we had a very interesting ending here. Throughout this episode, Ollie was helping the Keating Five trying to track down this parent killer, the relative of Caleb and Catherine, who they think tortured and killed their parents. And so basically he got this guy to meet Connor from a dating site to meet him at a coffee shop. But as we know, this guy knows everything that's going on because he's hacked into Ollie's computer and he can see what everyone's doing. So everyone is in like terrible danger at this point. So of course he didn't show up at the coffee shop because that's where Frank and Laurel and Michaela and everyone were. He went straight to Ollie's apartment. So at the end of this episode, he's able to get into Ollie's apartment and I don't know what happens. I immediately thought he was going to get murdered right there. You see in the promo for the next episode, Ollie is missing. So he didn't murder him in his apartment, or at least if he did, he took the body with him. What do you guys think is going to happen to Ollie? I really feel like he may die, but I like his character, so maybe they'll keep him around. I don't know. And we go to our flash forward scene. It was very, very quick, but we see the prosecuting attorney who we all hate. Either she's pushed off the top of the building, which is totally giving me the Frank vibes from last season, or she jumps herself. We see Wes up there, Laurel up there, and Bonnie. So possibly one of these people or a combination of these people pushed her, or she lost her balance and it was accidentally an accident, or she jumped. I seriously doubt she was up there and then she killed herself. So either she kind of fell, which totally reminds me of Frank, and she didn't mean to, but she did in a struggle, or they pushed her. What do you think? It could be someone who pushed her who we don't see. Someone could have shot her and then she fell back. There's a lot of different options here, but I do not think suicide is one of them. I'm loving this season. I think it is amazing and I cannot wait to figure out what goes on with Annalise being shot and everything, because I still can't really figure it out and be like, oh gosh, this is 100% what's going to happen. I still love reading your theories about it, so post those down below. If you don't subscribe to my channel, please do so you don't miss any of these videos as we near the finale, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. So thanks for watching this episode of Kellie TV. I'll see you next time.